Hello everybody, Terry back again with another video. Oh boy, we have gotten the first big upset in this year's 2021 Australian Open tournament in tennis. Yeah guys, this is the first big upset according to me, even though that we have got some little upsets before in the past in this tournament, but this is, for me, by far the biggest one. All of the other small upsets, so-called, we have had so far in the tournament, they never were any upsets. RBF lost, Schwartzman has lost, Goffin has lost, Shapovalov has lost. They are not any upsets to me. They are not as good. They were never contenders to win this tournament. They were never in my top 8 list. They were never any big threats to win in this tournament. They were just high-ranked players. Now the world number 3, Dominic Thiem, is crashing out after a Santa Claus performance. Oh my God! Dominic Thiem, he did a magical match against Nick Kyrgios 2 days ago, especially the third, the fourth, and the fifth set. He landed on Earth today, that's for sure. Welcome back to Earth, Dominic Thiem. My God, he was flawless against Nick Kyrgios the last 3 sets after facing breakpoint opportunities against him in that first game of the third set. After he faced those 2 breakpoint opportunities against him, Dominic Thiem never turned his back. He was in pole position. He was flawless. He didn't know how to miss, and it was unbelievable. If we saw a beast mode Dominic Thiem 2 days ago, the last 3 sets against Nick Kyrgios, we saw a horrible mode Dominic Thiem today. Man, what a disappointed performance from Dominic Thiem. I don't know what to say. I didn't expect that Dominic Thiem would be this flat. I didn't expect, because let's be honest, he has done some great progress the last couple of 12 months, Dominic Thiem. He was in the final in this tournament 1 year ago, runner-up against Novak Djokovic, and gave Novak a run for his money there and pushed Novak to the limit and was 2-1 in the lead 12 months ago in the Australian Open. Then he played the French Open, lost in the quarters there against Diego Schwartzman, and then he won his first ever Grand Slam title against Alexander Sasha Zverev after being down, down in sets, and turned that US Open final around. And then he played the final in the ATP Tour Finals in London and was set up against Daniel Medvedev and had a couple of break points opportunities in that second set to finish Daniel Medvedev off and to defeat him in straight sets in that final 3 months ago. And now he lost in the 4th round against Grigor Dimitrov after a really flat performance, a horrible performance. You know, guys who have followed my channel for so many years, all of the players, they have 5 levels. They have horrible level, they have average level, they have good level, they have great level, and they have beast mode level. Dominic Thiem, of course, he also has these 5 levels: horrible, average, good, great, beast mode level. If he was horrible mode level against Kyrgios, if he was beast mode level against Kyrgios the last 3 sets 2 days ago when he turned that match around, he for sure was horrible mode level in this match. He couldn't do a thing right, Dominic Thiem, in this match. He was returning horrible. He was serving bad, even though that serving was okay. He was okay serving. At least he was landing a lot of first service in, 73%. He was landing a lot of first service in. But that doesn't mean he will win the match, because he was not doing any good things behind those first service in. He was not penetrating that court. He was not hitting winners. He was not playing clean tennis. He was not playing consistent tennis. This was an call it what you want, early Christmas present to Grigor Dimitrov 2021, or a late Christmas present to Grigor Dimitrov 2021. Call it what you want. It is up to you to decide. Dominic Thiem was not good in this match. This was the most horrible Dominic Thiem I have ever seen in my life. This was Look, that Dominic lost against Grigor Dimitrov, that is not a shock. I told you yesterday, these world rankings, they are just numbered. Grigor Dimitrov, we know he can play tennis, the baby so-called Federer. We know he has played 5 quarterfinals Grand Slam appearance before in his career. Now this will be his 6th quarterfinal appearance in his career. Grigor Dimitrov, he can play tennis. He's a former top 10 player in the world. Has won one Master 1000 title in his career. And also has won one ATP Finals, London title in ATP Finals. He has won back in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, 4 years ago. So he can play some good, decent tennis. But he was not the favorite against Thiem. That for sure. He was not. Is this a shock? No, this is not a shock. Grigor Dimitrov, I believe he's world number 21. That is not a shock, for God's sakes, when you are world number 21 and you defeat the world number 3. These margins in tennis, they are laser thin. The world ranking doesn't mean much, guys. It doesn't, especially when you are not facing players who are not named Nadal or Djokovic. The world ranking doesn't mean a thing, guys. Everybody has chance against everybody in any given day, and especially if you celebrate Christmas early, just 9-10 months before, then of course you will have all the chances in the world to be the winner. Come on. Dominic Thiem, he wins 55% of the points behind his first serve. 55%. What does that mean to you? That means to you that he has done a lot of unforced errors. He has done so many unforced errors with his forehand and with his backhand, with his slice, with everything. It was horrible. And he wins only 32% behind his second serves. Only 32. Why? Because he couldn't stand a chance on the baseline. He was beating himself, for God's sakes. It was not like Grigor defeated Thiem here. It was just Thiem who defeated himself. That's what I've said so many times during my videos. Nadal and Djokovic, they are Mr. No Mercy specialists. They don't beat themselves, Nadal and Djokovic, especially not Nadal. Nadal can lose tennis matches. Of course, he's human, but he will never defeat himself. Forget that. That will never happen. That's why I call Rafael Nadal so many times Mr. No Mercy specialist. The same thing with Djokovic. He will not beat himself either. Look what he did against Taylor Fritz. He was, for God's sakes, injured the third and fourth set. No problem. He came back like a champion, like a boss, like a machine in the fifth set. Bam, 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 bam. 6-2. Goodbye, Taylor Fritz. Take the flight back to the United States. What did Dominic Thiem? And one more thing with Dominic Thiem. His physicality. His physical conditions. He's 27 years old. He's not physical strong anymore. No. I believe I've talked about this before. Nadal and Djokovic, they are older than Thiem. Nadal is 34 years old. Djokovic is 33 years old. But they are much stronger than Thiem physically. We have the proof now. It was Nick Kyrgios who knocked Dominic Thiem out. Yeah, Nick Kyrgios gave Dominic Thiem a run for his money 2 days ago. Played with him 3.5 hours brutal thrilling tennis, and Dominic Thiem, he was out of his tank was empty. You just look at him. Look at the man. Have you seen the match? He could barely move. He could barely run. He was outdrained out there. He was exhausted out there, for God's sakes. He started the match best. He took the first break in that first set. He was up in the lead 3-1 and actually had game points to be up 4-1 in that first set. And then Grigor, he came back with all of the presents that Dominic Thiem gave. The same thing happened in the second set. He was up in the break in that second set. It was Thiem who struck first, both first and second set. Grigor came back, no problem. Bam, bam, bam. And then Grigor won those first 2 sets, 6-4, 6-4. And then the third set, Dominic Thiem, he started the third set exactly like he started against Kyrgios, facing break push opportunities against him. But Kyrgios couldn't finish him off. 2 days ago, Grigor did that job instead and finished him off and broke his first game in the third set. And then it was just straightforward victory for Grigor Dimitrov. 2 breaks for Grigor in the first set, 2 breaks for Grigor in the second set, and 3 breaks for Grigor in the third set. 7 breaks. 7 breaks. Grigor break Dominic Thiem serve 7 times in 3 fast sets and gave Dominic Thiem a bagel in a 3rd set. All in all, Dominic Thiem does 41 unforced errors and only 25 winners. He does 16 more unforced errors than winners. Compare that when he played against Kyrgios, where he does 57 winners and only 28 unforced errors. He does 29 more winners than unforced errors against Kyrgios. 29 more winners. Against Grigor Dimitrov, he does 16 more unforced errors. That shows to you and to me and to the entire world that Dominic Thiem was just horrible. He just pushed the horrible mode button in this match. All credit to Grigor. He was not playing any fabulous tennis. He did 25 winners, 18 unforced errors. So he does 7 more winners than unforced errors. He played a solid match, Grigor Dimitrov. It was Dominic Thiem who did all the job for him. All Grigor needed to do, just keep the ball alive. And Dominic Thiem, he will do all the work for him. Grigor, he just gave Dominic Thiem different looks on the ball. He sliced it sometimes. He changed the rhythm. He took him forward to the net. He just extended the rallies. Dominic Thiem, he did all the job. Dominic Thiem had, like he said after the match, he said it was a combination of 2 things. I had physical issues and a really bad day. Dominic Thiem, he is showing more and more signs that he's not a physical monster. You know, guys, we should stop calling him physical beast. He is not. If you give him a tough match, he will be out the 2nd round. Like what happened in the French Open 4 months ago. That dude from France, Gostion, he gave Dominic Thiem a hell of a match in that 4th round, took Dominic to a 5th set, which Dominic in the end won. But then, against Schwartzman, just 2 days later, in that quarterfinal, Dominic was up with the lead 2-1 in sets. But then Dominic was exhausted. And what happened in the 5th set? Diego Schwartzman took that 5th set in that quarterfinal in French Open 4 months ago, 6-2. Because Dominic, he was just out-drained. He was just physically exhausted. Dominic Thiem is not a physical beast. Dominic Thiem is not a physical monster. He gets tired. He did the same thing as Medvedev 3 months ago. He was tired in the 3rd set. He did the same thing against Novak Djokovic 1 year ago in that final, Australian Open. He was up in the lead 2-1, and then he got tired physically and mentally, and Djokovic turned that match around, that final around 1 year ago, and won that match 3-2. And in the US Open, Dominic, he turned that match around against Zverev when he won his first and maiden Grand Slam title, when he was down in the score, love 2 down. But toward to that end of that match against Zverev, he could barely move. He could barely walk. It was a miracle how he won that final, Dominic Thiem, that US Open final, considering that he could barely walk. Dominic Thiem physicality is a red alarm here for me. He's not as physical strong as Nadal and as Djokovic, and not even as Medvedev. Grigor Dimitrov, he looks super fresh. Yeah, I know he had a easy match against PCB. He just played 1 set and he retired. But man, Dominic Thiem, he traced like an animal. Just 1 5-setter should not knock him out. That was Kyrgios who knocked him out 2 days ago. He was empty in his tank today. He was empty. Couldn't you not see that, guys? Couldn't you not see that, guys? He was empty, for God's sakes, he was empty. His physicality is horrible. It's horrible. Just give Dominic Thiem 1 tough match in a Grand Slam tournament or outside Grand Slam tournaments. I don't care. He's finished. He was finished against Goston. 2 days later, Diego Schwartzman finished him off. He was finished against Kyrgios. 2 days later, Grigor Dimitrov finished him off. He somehow comes through this tough, long matches. He did that against Goston. He did that against Kyrgios. But 2 days later, his tank is empty and he packs his bags and flies home to Austria. Very, very disappointing performance from Dominic Thiem, I must say. My number 1 pick for the title. And I'm not angry that I was wrong. Man, is it easy to predict these tennis matches? No, it is not. I'm more disappointed in Dominic Thiem's performance. Bagel in the third set, the world number 3, bagel. Tennis is funny, man. Tennis is really strange sport. Dominic Thiem, he owns Roger Federer in the head-to-head 5-2. And now Grigor Dimitrov owns Dominic Thiem in the head-to-head 4-2 now. Grigor Dimitrov is not even close as good of a tennis player as Roger Federer is. But Thiem owns Federer in the head-to-head, but Thiem cannot figure out how to play Grigor Dimitrov. That's for sure. Very disappointing performance from Dominic Thiem. Didn't expect this collapse from Dominic Thiem. I didn't. I knew that this would be a difficult match. I really knew. I was really, and I believe I said that yesterday. Dominic will not have an easy time. He will not. But I believed he will win. 4 sets or 5 sets, I believe. But Dominic Thiem, no, man, no. So I'm more disappointed in his performance in the third set, man. He was drained. He was drained physically and mentally. He was drained. The wall number 3 who practices, who trains like an animal to have his tank empty so fast, and to do so many unforced errors, and to put a Santa Claus performance into a court. No, I'm disappointed. I expect more from world number 3. This is it, guys, with all these tennis players. This is it. That's why what makes Djokovic and Nadal so damn unique. They will never be themselves in this way. They will never do it. They will never do it, and you know it like I know it, like the rest of the world know it. Can you just imagine Rafa Nadal being bagelled in a Grand Slam tournament in the third set? Can you just imagine? Yeah, he can lose. I remember one match when Del Potro destroyed Nadal back in 2009 US Open semifinal. 6-2, 6-2, 6-2. 3 straight set. Del Potro was from another planet. But Rafa he was not bagelled. He didn't get any bagel. Do you think Dimitrov will win this tournament? No, he will not. Dimitrov will now face Aslan Karashev from Russia, the qualifier from Russia, 114th in the world, which I actually predicted yesterday. I said I'm giving an upset alert here, and he defeated Felix Aliassime after great performance from this qualifier dude, Aslan Karashev. Man, he was up, he was down in the score, love to down, and he came back like a champ, like a boss. He was a little nervous the first 2 sets. I believe Felix won the first 2 sets 6-3, 6-1, but then Karen Khachanov, he just decided, you know what? I am not in the 4th round to just lose in straight sets against you. You are not an impossible dude to defeat. And Karen Khachanov, he just pushed that great mode level button, and he just won those 3 main links, those 3 last sets, and he didn't face one single breakpoint opportunities against him. In the first 2 sets, Aslan Karashev, he does 7 winners. 7. He was tight. He was nervous the first 2 sets, but the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th set, he produced 30 winners. Compare that with his first 2 sets. In entire match, Karashev, he does 37 winners and 46 unforced errors. Yeah, a little too many unforced errors. So he does 9 more unforced errors than winners. But he was clutch in the bigger points, guys. It was an even close match. Of course, this match could have gone either way. But in the end of the day, Karen Khachanov, I believe, won 126 points, and Felix Aliassime won 122 points. So Aslan Karashev, he wins only 4 more points than Felix Aliassime. That was a close fight. Felix Aliassime did a solid match, not a horrible match like Dominic Thiem, that's for sure. He produced, I believe, 41 unforced errors, Felix Aliassime, and 29 winners. So he does 11 more unforced errors than winners, Felix Aliassime. So it was an okay, solid match from Felix Aliassime, but he ran into a dude who's in great shape, who has won his matches in the qualis, and who has won 3 matches in the main event, and who is hitting that ball really big, and who is a really shot maker. I saw that against Diego Schwartzman, even though that I'm not Diego Schwartzman. Yeah, he's not the greatest player on hard courts, but and I knew that he could defeat Felix Aliassime, and I already said that yesterday. So I'm not shocked about this result. Definitely not. I'm not surprised. I even had a feeling that Aslan Karashev would defeat Felix Aliassime. I really had that feeling. But Dominic Thiem is the more is the surprise here. Dominic Thiem's not the Grigor defeated him. The surprise here is, to me, how he defeated him, how the way Thiem played. Thiem was awful. He was awful. That is the thing with Thiem. When he's redlining, he's from another planet. But when he's awful, he just is awful. He just is ugly to see, really. And it is not any enjoyable thing to see when Dominic Thiem plays at this low level. Dominic Thiem's physicality, Dominic Thiem's physical condition is a really red alarm here for me. And we should stop calling him as good and as strong physically as Djokovic and Nadal, because he is not. And the proof to that is Australian Open against Djokovic, French Open against Diego Schwartzman, US Open final against Alexander Zverev, even though he won, but we all know he just came 2 points away of losing, and the ATP Tour finals in London against Daniil Medvedev. He's only 27 years old, but he's already declining physically. Just imagine how Dominic Thiem will look when he's 31, 32 years old. He will be a spent force physically. He will never go to the second weeks in the Grand Slams when he's 32, 33 years old. I never believe he will go to the second weeks in the Grand Slams when Dominic Thiem is 32, 33 years old, because he will be a spent force physically. All right, guys, this is it for today. Now we're just going to look at the match between Djokovic and Milos Raonic. I believe that Djokovic, if he is somehow healthy, 80, 90%, he will be the winner there. Medvedev will be the winner against that American dude, McDonald. I don't think Medvedev will have any big troubles there. I think Rublev, that can be tested against Casper Ruud. Casper Ruud is a good, decent, great ball striker from Norway who play really good, solid tennis from the baseline, and who really can trouble Rublev. I believe he can trouble Rublev, even though the Casper Ruud's best surface is clay, but he has not taken himself to a fourth round just to go out like a Santa Claus, like Dominic Thiem did against Grigor Dimitrov. Casper Ruud, I believe, will give Rublev a run for his money. That's my feeling. But I have Rublev coming through there, 3 or 4 sets. Medvedev, I think, will go through in straight sets against McDonald. And then we have Rafa Nadal against Fabio Fognini, the shot maker from Italy. You never know what you will get from Fabio Fognini, but I think that forget what Rafa has done the first 3 matches. Rafa has faced the first 3 matches only challenger players. And Rafa will defeat those guys with his right hand, not left, right. Because just face it, Rafa is the Mr. No. Rafa is the Mr. No Mercy specialist. Mr. No Mercy specialist. Do you think he will have any problems against these 3 dudes that he has faced? And Rafa's first test comes now against Fabio Fognini. Why? Fabio Fognini has defeated Rafa before 4 times. Even though I believe Rafa leads the head-to-head 12-4, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. 11-4 or 12-4. I think more likely 12-4. But Fabio Fognini, he takes that ball early. He has a great backhand, and we all know Rafa likes to attack that backhand. He loves attacking his opponent's backhand. And if Fabio Fognini has a good backhand day and takes that ball on the rise, he can really punish Rafa Nadal. And he's not afraid. He's a shot maker. He has really good ground strokes with his forehand as well. Decent serve, decent returns, decent mover. He's unpredictable. We all know that. And I still have Rafa Nadal coming through in maybe Rafa loses 1 set. Maybe. That is the maximum I can see. But I think that Rafa will be... Now we will see where Rafa's level is. I was not impressed in Rafa's level yesterday against Cam Norrie. He did 35 unforced errors there and 33 winners. He does 2 more unforced errors than winners. Now I will see Rafa. Now Rafa will get tested more and more from the 1st round and beyond. Then the quarterfinals and then semifinals if he gets himself that far in the tournament. I think that he will come through Fognini. But now I'm really curious to see Rafa Nadal against Fognini, where his level is. Because Fognini will ask questions to Rafa Nadal, and we will see if Rafa Nadal will answer those questions. I believe he will. He's a much better player than Fabio Fognini. He's the more consistent tennis player than Fabio Fognini. Fabio Fognini will go in and out in matches. Rafa, we all know, he never goes, he never disappears, he never takes vacations, he never takes timeouts. He will be present all the time, and we will see how Fabio Fognini will handle that. So it will be an interesting match. We have some really, really interesting matches ahead of us. This tournament is really becoming more and more interesting. I'm really, really looking forward. But the upset of the tournament so far, guys, is for sure the world number 3 crashing out in the 3rd round. Not that he loses. The upset of the tournament, the surprise of the tournament is how he lost with a Santa Claus performance, a la Dominic Thiem. He was out in straight sets and he was out with a bagel in that 3rd set. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and see you next time. Peace.